क्योंकि हम लोग बात कर रहे थे एजुकेशन सिस्टम की, तो अभी हमें फ्लोरेन ने बताया कि इनके एजुकेशन सिस्टम के अंदर भी वो चीज़ें नहीं हैं जो हम लोग समझते हैं हमारे एजुकेशन में नहीं है। जैसे फाइनेंशियल मैनेजमेंट है, साइकोलॉजी ऑफ मनी है, सेविंग मनी है, हाउ टू इन्वेस्ट योर मनी है, या मैनेजमेंट ऑफ द मनी है। तो वो अभी हमारे साथ यूएस से एक साहब मौजूद हैं, हम इनसे पूछते हैं। उन्होंने बैचलर किया हुआ है इकोनॉमिक्स में। हम इनसे पूछते हैं कि क्या यूएस के अंदर ये चीज है इनके एजुकेशन सिस्टम में या नहीं। तो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद योर नेम एंड योर कंट्री एंड सिटी।
Yeah, so I'm Andrew. I'm from the U.S. and I live in Los Angeles.
Nice. And you are bachelor's in
Accounting and finance.
accounting and finance. Okay. Up till accounting and finance, do you think your education system has been teaching you about the investing, the money management, and everything?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all, no.
Okay. And regarding the communication skills, social skills, have you been learning things at school?
Yeah, I think the American way of high school, granted we all go through different private or public, and they all have different advantages and disadvantages
Okay.
Of communication, and so
Okay, but communication skills of the life is part of their studies.
it is. I think you develop those through high school, elementary. If we're talking before college, for sure, yeah.
Okay, will it be possible for you to specify what they have been teaching you? I mean, is there something part of their course, or is it just the discussion between teacher and the student regarding the communication skills?
I think depending on your school, you have your sets of friends. You find ways how to communicate, how people communicate, right? And so I think you learn to develop how to communicate through different kinds of people: introverts, extroverts, sports.
Yeah, but it's passive, right?
Just different ways people live their lives and how you can relate to them.
Okay, thank you. Let's go to little serious topic. It's regarding there is a lot of talk in the world about stress and depression and being in anxiety all the time. So what is the scenario in Germany first? Like, is it a good percentage of the people who are in anxiety or stress or depression, or it's just a small percentage that can be ignored?
No, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's more female.
Okay, more on the female side.
Yeah, maybe that you know of. I think everybody struggles.
Okay.
With mental health.
Okay.
But the class of my friend, I think almost every girl has been to a clinic.
It's close to 100%, you are saying.
Yeah.
For the females.
Yeah, but it's like his class is something outstanding in that perspective, if you can say it like that.
But as a country.
On the country, okay, I can talk about my school, so from my year, and it's rather big.
Okay, and what is the general cause of it? Means, can you list 2-3 points that are the frequently found in everyone who are suffering from this?
You mean
like the reason number one?
The reason why they're depressed.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of are diagnosed with some disease they have. So mental disease. It's to be honest, I don't know one male in my year that has been to a clinic. To be honest, it's really female dominant.
Okay.
Yeah.
Males, they don't feel depressed, or they don't go to the clinic. They don't choose to go to the
That's a
clinic.
good question. Maybe they are just dealing with a different. Maybe they are not opening, because I think it's for a man in a world where you have the masculinity.
Yes.
It's still pretty much ingrained that it's something not accepted to say I'm depressed, I'm weak,
Exactly.
to show weakness in that perspective.
Even to accept weakness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's a big part that plays into why maybe female is more dominant.
Because females can accept the issue earlier than the males.
Yeah, because
Easily.
it's okayer for them.
Yes.
Regardless.
And for them, what are the top reasons? Can you maybe talk about that?
I don't know if there's a reason why it's just like depression just comes up for them. It's just they are depressed.
You know what? It comes for a reason. I have studied this, a lot, because so many people talk to me regarding this in our country. So I have been studying this, and this is my area of interest as well. In our country, people are depressed or worried or stressed because of the financial reasons, because we are a poor country, economically poor country, and most of them will be worried for their job. Few of them won't have their job, and people who have their job are so stressed because of their job. And then there are people who are earning good amount of money and they are stressed they might be losing it soon. So
it's job more, and money related.
Yes, it's more on the financial part.
Okay, I see.
So they are depressed because of that. And you know what? The financial part is also related to your health part as well, to your children education as well, because our government is poor and they cannot afford to educate your children. So you will have to take the responsibility financially.
Yes.
And similarly, if your parents are ill, you will have to take that responsibility to take them to doctor and invest or support them financially for everything. So this financial part becomes the health part as well, the education part as well. So they are worried for that. So it's a survival game in our country. In the Europe and US, if we can talk about that, you guys are covered mostly, because especially the German, your health is covered. Whatever, God forbid, happens to you guys can get support from the government.
I mean health insurance, yeah.
And if at certain age you don't have job or you lose your job, you will not at least be on the road. Your government will support you so much that you can carry on your life.
No, that's not entirely true.
Not true?
No, there's something called, they just changed the name recently. It's civil help.
Civil help, okay.
Civil help. That's the translated word for it.
Okay.
And you have to apply. If you own something, you can't apply for it. You have to be dead broke.
Okay.
So, for example, if
nothing in your account.
For example, if there's you own a house and you got fired.
Okay.
Then you can't apply for the civil help because you still own the house. You would have to sell the house, and then you would be able to apply for it.
Okay.
But it's for the really, really broke and for the ones that are really in need. And they get paid. They get 450 euros a month. But it's like
it's nothing.
It's special circumstances. But homeless people in Japan are crazy good to compare to Germany.
Yes.
If you're in Hamburg at a certain district, a certain area, every 5 meters there are homeless people.
Yeah.
So yeah, but health insurance is pretty good.
But still, what I was trying to explain is your major concern in your life
Yeah.
is not basic needs.
Mm-hmm.
You will be getting somehow, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Your basic needs will be fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
But our country has different problems. So what I'm trying to understand is, before I come to the US part,
Yes.
what may be the reason for the stress and anxiety or depression? There has to, where I started this discussion is, there has to be a trigger.
Yeah, I agree with your perspective on depression a lot. But a good friend of mine, she struggled with depression a lot. And if I tell her that she says that her depression is triggered by trauma she had during her childhood, coming from parents.
Yes.
That's just like it's just trauma that's engraved in your brain in some form, which is then really hard to get rid of, and then you get diagnosed with something. But I wouldn't say that's conventional, or that the depression you just described, where you're worrying about something, it's the depression you just get without worrying about anything else. You're just sitting and then you just get depressed. It's like the disease.
Yes, that is the medical reason.
Yeah. But for like being triggered, I would say no. I don't. I only know that the people I just listed, or like where I said, yeah, a lot of female in my year were in clinic. They all had medical depression. So I don't know any details about that because it's a really personal topic. I just know about that one friend I have that opened up a bit to me. But I think it's a lot is about trauma.
Stoinis, I believe his name is, who is considered the father of modern psychology, human psychology. He said that up to the age of 8, whatever you lack in those 8 years, whatever you lack, the trauma that you are talking about, something that has hurt you, it will stay with your life forever.
Okay.
It just cannot go away.
Yes.
So that is one part that I wanted to have in this recording. You are right that the trauma that hit you in first 8 years, or the parents' problem that hit you in first 8 years, or it's the lack of money. Like if someone is poor in those 8 years, he will follow money all his life. If someone did not get the love of his parents in those 8 years, a love of from his society, like if your race is not being loved, racism, so he would be chasing that love throughout his life. It will never go away.
Yeah.
So this is what the psychology is.
Okay.
And let's come to the US part. Are people depressed there in general? High percentage, low percentage?
I think, everyone goes through it, a certain side of it, of depression, for sure. Anywhere you're at, I mean, you could be rich, you could be poor. Every spectrum is going to get their own, side of it.
Okay. And people are going to the clinics, to the psychologist or psychiatrist?
I couldn't tell you. I mean, I know we have the resources to do it. I'm sure I know that. They're always advertised and they're always there. So I do think people use them.
Okay. And can we talk about the reasons? Top 3 reasons, maybe?
I think like in any country, it's got to be family, society, and then maybe a third part of your development as a human.
As a human.
Because family is your upbringing.
What are the top worries that American people have? Top worries. Like when I was talking to people in Berlin, I found out a very interesting reason to worry in Berlin,
Yeah.
and that was that our government is not doing enough for the global warming. That was, for me, it was interesting reason to be worried.
Yeah, that's
It's a
big
big
in
worry,
Berlin.
right? Yeah.
I just found it in Germany. Other world is not that much worried. At least I did not meet those people. But so, what are the top worries in US? What would you say in general for the country?
Gender equality for sure is one of them.
And what can you specify?
From what I understand, right? Like, like they're not getting paid as women aren't getting paid as much as men.
Okay, that is a real worry for the whole world.
Yeah, for sure.
I have seen that in all countries.
Maybe your job as well, right? So whether how you treated at your job, and value as well.
There are problems in being treated on the job.
I mean, I'm sure with any workplace, right? It's not perfect, right? So it's a relationship with your people who are above you, right? And then people who are under you, right? Because if you're in the middle,
that matters a lot.
Yeah. How even you're liked, how you're not liked.
Even in US, because this interview is more towards the Pakistani audience. So this is a very interesting point that you raised. In our country, we are, complaining that relationship matters so much that it surpasses or overpasses the actual performance of the person.
Yeah.
So this is the same thing in US as well?
Yeah, I think it helps, like your job performance and how you feel valued in that workplace, right? So like, it relates to itself very, very strong to where if you don't feel that you're not valued or you're not thought of something as an asset to someone, then you're going to feel stressed out that maybe you're not doing the job right, or maybe you're going the wrong direction or something.
That's a very good point. Very, very good point, that when you are not considered as valuable at your workplace, you go into stress. You're right. Because I've seen people.
And it goes home, and that makes more stress back home.
Exactly, because they will carry that stress home. Very interesting point. And how is the job scenario in US? Oh, sorry, in Germany. Like, I have heard maybe that they cannot call you after hours, after the job hours, for anything. Is it true? Is it the law?
Oh, I mean, there's different types of jobs. But it's common that you work your hours and then you're off. But that's not the rule. For example, my father, he's working at the chemical company, and he's driving a machinery, a big chemical thing.
Okay.
And when there's something, he's working during the day, and there are people that are doing maintenance and just checking that everything is right during the night. And sometimes there's something going wrong, and my father is one of the guys that really know how things are working there, because he really studied the thing. He had to, because he's always trying to improve it.
Okay.
So he might get a call like, that, this and that, but it's never been that he had to leave and go back and then just like, let's do the next day. There are, as a teacher, you are obviously working all the time. You have to be, especially during COVID, you had to be accessible for your students. I know firefighters, like, they are working, they are on their shift. Their shift is basically, they have the phone that can potentially ring.
Yeah.
So they have to be ready all the time.
Yeah.
My mother, she a colleague of my mother, he's a firefighter, and he was he was like volunteering and firefighting, so he had a job at the laboratory.
Okay.
But then the alarm went off, and 5 seconds he was out. He just left everything. That's why he was working on project that could be left at any certain moment, because if the alarm goes off, he has to leave directly. So there's different types of jobs in Germany. There's nothing like, yeah.
And like the job hours in Japan, I have talked to the people. They are saying it's 12 to 14 hours normal
A day.
a day. And how are the job hours in Germany?
Not that much. It's 8 hours a day.
8 hours.
It's maybe a bit more. Depends. Yeah. There are rules actually. So that probably every country has that different rules. If you're younger, if you're 16, you're working, the rules are stricter. You're not allowed to work that long. I don't know the details. If you're self-employed, you can work as long as you want to.
Of course.
But if you're employed by a company, it's 40 hours a week.
Okay.
But the thing is, for my parents, speaking about my parents, they are usually doing overtime, and then after a year, they have so much overtime that they can take vacation. Like they can just like stay home for one day to reduce overtime, because at the end of the year, the company isn't allowed to have the overtime.
Okay.
I don't know the details about that as well, but that's just something I know.
And job hours in US?
Like you said, it definitely depends. It's usually 9 to 5.
But it can, they can call you after hours and you can go back to the job?
Some jobs have, yeah. Some jobs are you're salaried and you're expected to come back if something happens, or some jobs are your, extra hours, extra money. So, it just depends. Usually they're, try to be well staffed.
I have heard that companies in corporate world in US is ruthless. Means the next moment you don't know, you will be fired.
It can be, right?
Yeah.
It's all up to the people who are probably, top level to figure out what's going on. But yeah, I think if the economy turns over, yeah, like anywhere else, you definitely.
Because you have knowledge of economy as well. What do you think the recession that we are going through, is it going to worsen with the time, or is it going to now improve? It has touched the rock bottom.
I personally don't have much information on that myself. Okay. I know we've had some layoffs in the States, but other than that, I think the unemployment rate is probably the best where it's been in the U.S. history. Don't quote me on that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think you'd have to judge a recession by the unemployment rate.
And the sales are down on your stores.
Again, yeah, I'd have to look at the financial records.
Yeah.
But
because we have been working with JCPenney, Walmart, Target, and so many other big vendors of US, and their sales are down.
Okay.
If you know that.
Okay.
Their sales are pretty much down. The containers that they bought from us are still loaded.
Okay.
They have not unloaded in their stores because there are sales down.
Oh yeah, maybe they're going through stuff we don't see, right? Inflation is getting better, right?
Better, okay.
But yeah, they have their teams of financial specialists, and they're telling them what they've seen and not. So again, I couldn't tell you what they're going through.
Okay, and can we talk about the comparison, because you have spent a lot of time in Japan, and you have spent how much time?
probably 12 days now.
12 days, okay. And you have been to Japan for the first time?
This is my first time.
And you have been traveling around, or this was your first trip?
That's the first. Yeah.
First out of US?
Not the first, no.
So you have been to?
Europe, Australia, South America.
Uh-huh. And you?
I've been to not out of Europe.
Not out of Europe. So this is your first time out of Europe.
Yeah, if you're, yeah.
And have you traveled all of Europe?
I've been to Italy, Switzerland, Austria, France. The Canarian Islands,
Okay.
Lanzarote. That's it's part of Spain, but I haven't been to Spain. I've been to Scotland, Netherlands, and that's about it.
Okay, before you guys get too much bored, let's come to the closing questions. How do you compare your country with Japan? I mean, the pros and cons of your country and Japanese people.
Just like maybe
the way they look at things, definitely for me.
Different.
Yeah. Maybe some in some good ways, some bad ways.
Like, this is a very good point.
Like, they're very traditional, but they're also very forward-looking, like technology-wise.
That's true.
Ways of thinking about processing things. I think Japan is a country that has a lot of promise, keeping its old ways, but also creating new ways with its younger generation.
I think they're really, really nice people. I haven't I haven't traveled the world, right? But I haven't met, where you can really say it's the people, it's the Japanese. To do the statement that the Japanese are nice, I wasn't able to do that about European countries. So they're putting an effort, positive. They really try to help you and are sincerely trying to help you.
Exactly.
With if you ask somebody train station where the next ATM is, they will not just take a left there. I literally got walked by a woman to the next ATM. Yes. What was she took us there, and then that's what and then she left again.
And she will go back.
Yeah, exactly. She just did that, and it's not that I encountered that only once. It's really every Japanese person, like the majority, is like that, behaves like that. Maybe it's something about the culture. Maybe they're just raised that way. I've heard that some people feel like the Japanese are not nice because they mean it, but because they are supposed to behave like that. And I can agree with that a little bit, that there's some that there's more of a society pressure, like the society image, how the Japanese should behave. But still, it comes really from you can feel it. They mean it when they're nice to you. They mean it.
Yeah.
So
you can feel it.
Yeah, you can really feel it.
And I think they learn this from their school system, the education system that we were talking about. It is part of their education system to learn these social skills, and they even learn to clean their classrooms. I don't think it is taught in Germany or US.
A thing I noticed in the gym, which is not common in Germany, not at all. They even put in the where you can set your weight. They put that always back to the default, which is not a bigger deal. But every Japanese does that. They put in they they leave the place how they found it.
It's good gym etiquette.
And it's not like in Germany. I mean, it's not a big of a deal if you leave the weight thing, but that really shows the mindset, I think.
These small little details, they care about. Yeah,
Yes.
I can see that.
Yes.
And those, small little details that they care in all aspect of their life.
Yeah.
We can, see that, and it's, as a society, having these built in you, is a very big thing.
Yeah, you can learn a lot from them in that perspective. Yeah.
Exactly. Anything else on this point?
No.
Anything that you would like to ask or talk about?
No. I enjoyed the conversation.
Yeah, good.
And you are tired and you need to sleep.
Yeah.
That's okay, but I liked it.
Yeah.
So nice of you guys. It has been a big pleasure talking to you, seriously. And it has added a lot of value in my life, and I believe in the audience life as well.
Yeah, definitely. I will follow you. Or
Yeah.
that's cool. Cool stuff.
Thank you. Bye.